It's now 3 o'clock, and so we begin our session today, which is on the 5 minute reset quick practices that revive you midday. Good afternoon again. I am Rentoy, and I have been a teacher for more than 30 years. And much of what I'm going to share with you, I picked up from research as well as experience inside the classroom, because all of us, those who have been teachers like me inside the classroom for decades, chances are all of us have experienced being tired, exhausted, and maybe even exasperated sometimes. And so we go to this session today. Part one, let's try to understand midday fatigue. There is such a thing as midday fatigue, a kind of tiredness that happens in the middle of the day, especially if you're the kind of teacher who really would give everything to your students, and that you are going to teach your students with all your heart. I'm sure those of you who have been inside the classroom long enough would have experienced this kind of challenge. Here, according to experts, are the top three causes of midday burnout. The first is, and this is what researchers say about this generation of people today, young and old, sleep deprivation, sleep debt, a chronic lack of quality sleep, which can lead to cognitive fog. Cognitive fog means you have a hard time understanding what you're reading, grasping what you're hearing, or simply your mind is clouded. And all because we lack sleep, especially with the advent of social media, of YouTube, Instagram, Twitter, Netflix, Spotify, more than a billion videos in YouTube. All these contribute to sleep debt. Now, every so often, you may lack sleep because you need to finish checking test papers, you need to submit the unit plans, you need to submit the grades. Okay, every now and then, lack of sleep may be, well, okay. But if it happens night after night after night, week after week, then a sort of burnout happens, and we feel it especially in the middle of the day. And all because we consistently lack sleep. Or maybe you're able to sleep, but the quality is poor. You wake up many times in the middle of the night because you are apprehensive about deadlines not met, upcoming deadlines. So that is number one cause of midday burnout. Here's another one: cognitive overload. Because constantly we are making decisions, doing multitasking, mental batteries, draining our mental batteries, because we are not just preparing for one subject, you're preparing for two or three different lectures of different topics, different subject matters, different levels. And then we have an assignment from the principal to be in charge of a committee. We are preparing for Foundation Day. We are choreographing our students for the performance. Uh, that can cause a certain burnout, which appears especially in the middle of the day. And then number three is emotional drain. Simply being exhausted socially, from teaching, parenting, because some of you may be actually also parents. Your problem is not just your students. You also have to worry about problems at home, concerns with your children. And then you are also helping out in expenses of your parents or siblings. And then you are, because you're such an effective worker, the principal gives you all sorts of add-on assignments, tasks, committee, um, participation in one committee or another. And then at the same time, you know you cannot survive just with your salary from teaching. You have to look for other sources of income, online selling, selling insurance. Um, all these can be very draining. And yes, some teachers experience emotional drain. These, according to the experts, are the top three causes of midday burnout. Here are five signs that you need to reset. It's very unfortunate that we do not have as many who registered for this session when in fact I think this is what many teachers need more than strategies, more than classroom management techniques. Taking care of oneself, I think, for some teachers is a top concern. And it is one of the main things that many teachers tend to overlook or under emphasize or undervalue. So here are five signs. If you are reading and then you keep on going back to the start because three times you've read it, but you cannot seem to understand, you cannot seem to get the ideas, ah, you are tired, exhausted. You need first to reset. Okay. And it can happen, right? You're even just leisurely reading like a newspaper. You're reading. After a few minutes, you realize, teka muna, I'm not understanding things. Nothing is registering. That's a clear sign. We need a bit of reset. Or in the middle of the day, you suddenly start feeling unmotivated, sluggish, slow, tired, or even irritable, like the slightest thing gets you upset. The way that other teacher in the faculty room is using the stapler irritates you. That teacher who slides the chair without lifting it and it creates a sound that gets you irritated, upset, even angry. We need a reset. Here's the third. Your posture. You go back to the faculty room. It's after two or three sessions in the morning. You go back to the faculty room and you slump on the chair and you feel like you have irregular breathing, like it's shallow. You're like catching your breath, but it's just a 1 minute walk from the classroom, and yet you feel so exhausted. Midday reset is called for. Number four, you start craving sugar, caffeine, social media, the kind of craving that makes you feel like if you don't get it, you get irritated, upset, even angry. If you don't get to have your coffee, you are impatient, you get easily irritated by people, by things you see. A midday reset is in place. Or number five, you feel like everything is urgent, but you don't know what to do first. The deadline for submission of grades, urgent. The need to give this paper to the students, urgent. The need to finish the quiz I have to give tomorrow, urgent. Like suddenly everything is urgent and you feel like you have run out of time. Reset. In fact, well, here is a list, and I want you to get a pen and paper, a piece of paper, and a ball pen, or you can use your cell phone and count count how many of these items you have or you're going through or you're feeling. Number one, I'm rereading the same message or paragraph but not absorbing it. Yes or no? I feel irritated or impatient over small things. Yes or no? I have had a headache, tight shoulders, or eye strain today. Just one of these. Yes or no? I suddenly crave sugar, caffeine, or junk food. Yes or no? I'm procrastinating on small tasks for no clear reason. Not because I cannot do it, I just don't want to do it. And I don't know why. I feel like I will leave it for tomorrow. That's procrastination. Yes or no? I feel like I have hit a wall mentally or emotionally. Number six, I have checked my phone or social media many times without real purpose. In fact, I go to Facebook and then I go out and then I go back again, back to Facebook. And then I go to another app, inquirer.net, or to check the news. And then I go back to Facebook. You keep on going back. Yes or no? Eight, I have lost my usual enthusiasm or sense of clarity. Number nine, I'm slouching or sitting with poor posture right now. Yes or no? And number 10, I feel overwhelmed, even by simple decisions. 10 points. How many did you check? How many did you count? Here is the diagnosis. If you checked 0 to 3, fantastic. You're functioning well. Stay proactive. Keep it up. If you checked 4 to 6, you are in dire need of the so-called 5-minute reset. Reboot your mind or body. If you check more than 7, your system is crying for help. Take a longer break. Take advantage of the no classes to sleep. Sleep is not just for the weak, it is what every human being needs. Or consider restorative practices as ASAP. So then, this is a very important thing to keep in mind. Rest is not reward for finishing, because sometimes that's our mindset. I will only rest when I finish this. I will only rest when I'm done with what I need to do. No, it's actually a requirement for thriving. And sometimes the 5-minute rest may be the only thing we need, not necessarily full rest that you will have to sleep for the next 3 hours in the afternoon, the siesta. Sometimes all we really need is a good, solid 5-minute rest. This is what the lecture today is all about. Here are top 3 scientific reasons why micro breaks work. Okay? Micro breaks. 5 minuters, 3-minute rest. Number one, mental reset. 5 minutes of focused rest can actually increase attention by 13 to 25%, scientists say. Okay? A good 5-minute focused reset can increase our attention, our focus by 13 to 25%. This is scientific. This is not just an opinion of a teacher from experience. Science has studied the brain, the mind, the people, and they have come up with this. Here's another one: stress discharge, which means, a physical or creative break. A physical or creative break, according to research, according to studies, can reduce cortisol. Cortisol is a stress hormone. When you are stressed, cortisol increases. And stress discharge is a break that will reduce the cortisol. Very much like, imagine boiling water in a kettle. When it is boiling already, all you have to do is simmer down the fire or turn it off, and the boiling stops. It is hot, it is warm, but it isn't anymore boiling. That's the purpose of the stress discharge. And science says this can greatly lower cortisol. We're going to look at how to do stress discharge, and then mood reboot, rebooting the mood, shifting from something that is stressful to a tiny moment of joy, which will trigger dopamine release. Again, that's very scientific. The dopamine, on the other hand, is like the joy hormone. And even just a 3 to 5 minute um, dopamine increase can get a person to reboot and be ready again for more difficult challenges. You see, we are not a machine. Teachers are not a machine. We need a mental reset, a stress discharge, a mood reboot. So let's go to mental reset. 5 minutes of focused rest. The goal is to clear the cognitive fog, which we made mention of earlier. When you are tired, your mind just becomes clouded, difficult for you to think and to process things, to judge, to evaluate, to analyze, to synthesize, because your mind has already become foggy, cloudy. So, a mental reset, on the other hand, and you just need 5 minutes of this kind of focused rest, is like letting the fog go away. And that will increase our attention by up to 25%. And it doesn't have to be, as I said, a full rest of having to sleep for the next 1 hour. No, a 5 minute reset is good enough. So here are some samples of 5 minute resets. Let's say you're checking test papers, and it can be draining, tiring, exhausting, even irritating, especially if you're checking essays and you get upset by grammatical errors, wrong spelling, wrong words, distorted subject verb agreement. And that can be very exhausting. So, this 5 minute reset is stop with a checking of papers and then just stare at a single point. As in, look at a plant for 5 minutes. Look at kittens. I know people, for example, whose way of resetting is just watching for 3 to 5 minutes those many funny videos in the internet, or watching this. That's the reason why the cat videos, those videos of cute cats and kittens doing strange things, is very relaxing for some people. Or even just gazing at the wall. Don't think of the test papers. Get the grammar errors that you encountered in checking the essays. Get it out of your mind and then just focus on a blank wall. Or you look out the window and try to see as far as you can. No thinking, just stare softly. That is helpful. That's a very good mental reset. Here's another strategy to do a reset, mental reset. Close your eyes and then breathe slowly. No music, no talking, just stillness, calm, serenity, peace. Focus on your breath. As in, consciously feel the inhaling for 4 seconds and then hold the breath for 4 seconds and then exhale, making it 4 second exhale, and then hold again for another 4 seconds and go back again to the 4 seconds of inhaling. In other words, you are just focusing on your breathing, not on the test papers, not on the subject, not on a deadline, but just at that moment, focus on your breathing. That is a fantastic mental reset. Here's another one. You can check it in the internet. Mindful Minute Bell app. You know, those counters, timers that are available online or in your cell phone, an app that you can download that just gives you 1 minute to 5 minutes of silence. You can even cover your ears, or you can wear one of those like this um, earphones that has noise cancellation, stillness, silence, and look, just wait for the clock to finish 3 minutes. That's a mental reset. Here's another one: mental whiteboard. As in, imagine your mind to be full of like a whiteboard that is full of writings, the grammatical errors, the words that you encircled in checking paper because it is a wrong word, it is a wrong idea. Erase them. Imagine your mind to be a whiteboard that is full of all these things that you just saw while checking the test papers. And imagine yourself erasing until the whiteboard is totally clean, rebooted, restarted, a clean slate. 3 to 5 minutes. And then go back to the test, to the checking of papers. You do that, your attention, your focus has gone up, increased greatly compared to how you were when you stopped working. Here's another one: single task reset. Do one thing, single task. Do one task slowly and with all your attention in that task. Forget about the test papers. Forget about what you're checking. Put all your attention on that one single task. Like what task? Drinking a cup of coffee or a cup of tea, with all your focus attention in that cup of tea that you're drinking slowly. You can put a timer, 3 to 5 minutes, not more, as a way of resetting. Be fully present in that one task. Some people, their single task reset is they start fixing the table, the desk where they're working, which may be cluttered. So every so often, they stop to put things in order, putting the pens in the right place, folding papers, just keeping that task of keeping the desk clean. That is their reset. Okay. And then they go back to whatever they're doing. It's important because the mind is, well, actually, we don't know many things about the brain, the mind. Science has been trying to discover more. That's why we have all these strategies and tips. But we, unless we go out of our way to study the mind, the brain, how man's spirit works, we will really discover. I mean, if we know better about our mind, about our mental health, and things like that, all these things will be far more important than how we treat it now. As some of you may be thinking, "Ano ba naman, reset, reset na yan. I don't need that." Well, when we say something like that, it simply means we have not understood enough how the mind works, how the brain functions. Pro tip: turn off your screen and notifications, even just for 5 minutes. In fact, if you have attended those sessions I gave on understanding the digital generation and the need to do a digital detoxification because we are so immersed in toxic technology, social media, gadget use, Wi Fi, internet, the noise that we are um, bombarded with. One of the ideas I always give is turn off notification. Facebook should not be the one telling you, "Uy, somebody liked your post, come back." That's the role of the notification. "Uy, somebody commented on your post, come, log in, go back to Facebook." That's what the notification is about. It's like Facebook controlling you, telling you, "Go back. Somebody shared your post. Look, it's technology controlling us." It shouldn't be that way. We have to be the ones to decide when I'm going to go back and check my Facebook and check my wall and check my social media, not the other way around. So if we are always like that, um, give yourself rest from being commanded, being pushed around, quote unquote, by social media. Turn it off. Okay, stress discharge. This is the second main area for reboot. The goal here is to release muscle tension and reduce stress hormone levels. We talked about the cortisol earlier on. Okay, so the first one, the first set of strategies I gave you are mental exercises. Now we go to physical or creative micro breaks. You know, what they do among athletes, they stretch, they shake, rolling their shoulders, stretching your arms, twisting your, especially for those of you who are in front of the computer the whole day and you can have this carpal tunnel syndrome. This becomes painful. And okay, we need a bit of physical rest. Shaking your legs, your wrists, especially in the middle of the day when you are in your desk, lunch break, and you feel heavy, sluggish, sleepy. Well, that is when we will appreciate more a 5 minute physical reset. Number two, wall push reset. Place both your palms on a wall and like you're doing a push up, but not on the floor, but on the wall. Or push firmly for 20 seconds. Release. and then repeat 3 to 5 minutes of an exercise like that. Physically, that will like change the pattern of what you're doing, and it's like physically resetting. Dance to a doodle or color. Some people like to do that as a way of uh, giving themselves a physical break because they enjoy doodling or coloring. Okay, then that would be nice. Drawing squiggles, shapes, or color a small patch of a mandala, the round thing with different areas with different colors. Not uh, trying to be artistic. This is not like challenging yourself to come up with a great drawing. Not all of us have the talent. Not all of us may have the capacity. It's not about forcing yourself to come up with a masterpiece. No, it's just a sort of physical rest. Dancing to one song. And you go to YouTube, there are so many energizer dance videos, that you will just copy, imitate. In fact, I'm sure you've seen these videos lately of doing exercises like that, and then the video shows either you hammering something, wiping something, like that. No? Physical reset. That's the point of this step. Fidget replay. Um, you can buy one of these cheap stress balls, the like a rubber ball that if you squeeze, it takes different shapes as a physical reset, or a cube, or even tearing up a paper into tiny pieces as a way of resetting. 3 to 5 minutes. Why does it work? Because physical activity triggers the parasympathetic nervous system, your body's calm down response. Scientific. This is not just based on experience, but yes, I'm sure you, as I, have gone through um, exercises like this, and they really do work. Third, the mood reboot. As I said earlier, the tiny joys that will release dopamine, or that will increase dopamine, which is like our um, joy hormone, happy hormone. So the goal is to reignite motivation, warmth, and positive engagement. Okay, here are some strategies to be able to do mood reboot. I don't know, in your laptop, for example, in your computer, you may be keeping photos there that if you look at them, they bring you joy. Family pictures, pictures of your vacation to Boracay, Singapore, trips abroad that made you very happy, or um, pictures of letters from students that you received last Teacher's Day. That's why me, I don't throw away those things. I don't throw away those letters, but because we now can easily scan photos, um, um, we can easily scan pictures now. I transferred all those letters I received throughout these decades of my life. I took a picture of them so that even if they get misplaced, or even if the paper itself gets destroyed, it's okay. I have the digital copy. You scroll over these pictures, photos, letters that will bring you joy. You label them as the feel good folder. And that's a good mood reboot. You know, when things get very tiring, exhausting, exasperating, look for those 5 minutes that you will scroll and look at those pictures, photos, and scanned letters to feel good, precisely. Here's another mood reboot. Send a compliment. I mean, all of us are in Viber, FB Messenger, cell phones. Message someone a sincere compliment. Acts of kindness will raise your mood and his or her mood. The both of you end up winners. Here's another one. Watch 1 2 minute funny or inspiring video. That's why I keep a lot of these inspiring videos for teachers, which many times I would show in talks for teachers, especially if it is a full day seminar. I would have to intersperse with a lot of videos that are very inspiring, can even move you to tears watching these videos, or that will boost your motivation to be a great educator. 1 to 2 minute funny or inspiring videos. That's a good mood reboot. As I said earlier, some find inspiration in watching funny cat or dogs videos, animals that are cute. Eat a favorite mini treat. Why not? Like dark chocolate is very healthy, even for diabetic people. Dark chocolates or a crunchy fruit or anything that can give you sensory delight. 3 to 5 minutes of that. Here's something that science says really works. You know, you go to the bathroom, look at yourself in the mirror, and give yourself a big, wide smile. It works. It really, psychologically, it gives you like a, I mean, you will even find yourself strange looking and you laugh at yourself, but it works. Even just the physical act of giving yourself a smile is a mood reboot. Smile and hold it for 20 seconds while looking at yourself in the mirror. You will feel strange, but it works mentally, physically. It gives you a certain reboot. It really does work. Scientists say so, researchers, experts say so. Fun fact for you, dopamine is not just the pleasure chemical, it's the anticipation plus motivation chemical. Therefore, tiny joys, micro joys equals to big brain wins. Physical reset. Here are top 5 physical movements for quick energy. The first one is power pose reset. Again, go to the bathroom, close the door, and give yourself the superhero uh, pose. Whether you feel like you're Wonder Woman or Superman or Batman and stand in front of the mirror with that power pose. Remember, these are resets that take more than 3 to 5 minutes. That's all it takes. Something's wrong with you if 1 hour already you've been doing that in front of the mirror. You need professional uh, psychiatric help for that. We're just talking of 3 to 5 minute resets. That's the title of our session. Here's another one. Tension release pulse. You know, you clench your fists, hold and release and rhythm. You see these videos of Tai Chi, Chinese old people doing these exercises because it works. Something we already mentioned earlier, stretch and shake combo. reach, twist, shake limbs for lymphatic flow. Lymphatic flow. It works. I mean, um, imagine yourself sitting on your desk for 2 hours. You get tired, right? After 2 hours of sitting, just sitting there because you're checking papers, you're working, making your tests in front of the computer, laptop. It gets very tiring just sitting there. A 3 to 5 minute standing up, stretching, shaking your limbs just for 3, 5 minutes, and then you sit down again. You feel refreshed. You feel better. You feel ready for more work. Um, breathe, breathe boost or breath boost rather. Box breathing, similar to what I gave you yesterday earlier on of 4-4-4. Inhale for 4 seconds. Hold it for 4 seconds. Exhale, counting 1, 2, 3, 4, and then repeat. That is very helpful. That is a good physical reset. Or if you have ridden um, those long haul flights that are 3, 5 hours going to Los Angeles, we would usually take 13 hours of direct flight from Manila to Los Angeles. And you can watch videos there in the monitor of exercises that you can do to keep the blood flowing, because otherwise if the blood is not flowing because you're seated for 13 hours, then you feel tired, exhausted, and you can even have complications of how do you call this, your blood pressure goes down and you feel sick. So those exercises of head, neck, shoulder rolls, they're very useful. They're very helpful. They work. Top five micronutrition boosters, not coffee all the time. Because sometimes, in fact, this is uh, many times a problem with some teachers. We tend to drink too much coffee. We tend to have too much caffeine. And of course, when you have too much caffeine in your body, you have a hard time falling asleep in the evening, or your sleep is very shallow because you have too much caffeine in your body, especially if too much coffee intake but little water intake. Then the caffeine is like what is running through your veins. So then, here are top five micronutrition boosters that we can look at to improve our, well, digestive system. Hydrate with electrolytes. I mean, okay, you don't have to buy Gatorade, Powerade, which are personally, I think they are overpriced. But a squeeze of lemon or salt in water, that is good electrolytes. Dark chocolate squares, which really natural energy, and mood lifter, or nuts or seeds. Problem with the nuts is you can get high uric. Okay, there are those seeds, which may even be cheaper. Apple slices with peanut butter, the crunchy fruits, slow burning energy, or drinking green tea, which is more healthy. It's healthier than caffeine, than coffee. But of course, certain teas have also a lot of caffeine. Or turmeric ginger shot. It's even anti-inflammatory. When you see them being sold in malls, they even have free taste of this um, bukid, no? The turmeric. drinks that are available. Just add hot water. Okay, 5 minute mental and emotional resets. Top five mental micro practices. Number one, name it to tame it. Label your emotion. Try to label, you know, clear your thoughts and then what am I feeling? Happy, afraid, apprehensive, scared, terrified, stressed out? What is it? Name it, you will be able to tame it. But if you don't even know what you're feeling, because it's all a mixture of, then you feel like I am burning out. I mean, this is burnout. Well, no, not necessarily. It may simply be, I think, uh, you are overreacting, or it's well, exaggerated reaction to a situation. Name the emotion, label it, you chances are will be able to tame it. Here's another way of a micro practice that can help your mind. 1 minute gratitude bomb. Say or write 3 things that you are grateful for. And it says there 1 minute. You have to be able to say those, you have to be able to imagine or think of those 3 things. The class didn't make me shout today. I was able to submit the quiz quizzes on time. I was able to get it back to the students. And one student thanked me today before leaving the classroom. 1 minute to think of 3 things that you are grateful for. That's micro. It's a little thing, but it can do a lot mentally. Micro journaling, it's also good. 2 sentence check in. Right now, I feel this. I need this. You keep a journal of that just as a way of taking a break and stepping back and then looking at why am I feeling this way? You keep a journal of that. I feel like this right now because I think I need this thing right now. Then it says micro journaling. So it's just 2 sentences, 1 or 2 sentences. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 grounding. Engage your 5 senses to return to the present. At a count of 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Your sense of hearing, you focus. Your sense of sight, you focus. Your sense of touch, like you just ground yourself in that short period of time. Well, there's a fifth one, which is the breathing, calm breathing to calm anxiety down and to clear our thoughts. 444 or 478. Those are the magic numbers. 4 seconds of inhaling, keep it for as long as 7 seconds, and then exhaling in an 8 second duration. Um, the idea about this breathing is really you're focused on a single action activity that will make you clear your mind, get the worries, the concerns, the problems about grades and test papers and submissions and deadlines for even just for a few seconds or minutes out of your mind. That's a 478 breath. No? Okay, which science says 4 seconds inhale, 7 seconds hold it, and then 8 seconds of exhaling, according to Dr. Whale, an expert. It's a natural tranquilizer for the nervous system. It works. It works because according to him, when you do that, 4 seconds inhale, 7 seconds hold it, 8 seconds of exhale, calms anxiety and racing thoughts, slows down your heart rate, relaxes the body and mind quickly, clears the mental fog and restores focus, and helps transition from fight or flight to rest and digest mode. So then, there are many things that we can do. Now let's take a look at the soul, because you are made of body and soul, but you also have a mind. So we already addressed body with all those micro physical resets. We already addressed the mental resets. Now take a look at the soul, because we also have a soul. And that also needs a bit of reset if we are going to take care of ourselves. 5 minutes spiritual reset. And these are options regardless of whether you're Christian, Catholic, Muslim, whatever faith you have, you can do this. One line prayer or verse. One line. In the Bible, you read lines like, be still and know I, the Lord, am your God. Okay, just think of that. Or, my Lord and my God. Just repeating that over and over. 5 minutes. Don't look for, fill the 5 minutes with so many words. Just one line, one prayer, one verse that you will repeat, like a mantra, or a mini examination of conscience, like what blessed me today, where uh, the morning has just finished. When was I most alive? What wrong things I could have avoided? Maybe I got mad at a student. I think I could have been more patient. I think I could have been more cordial when I met that co-teacher. I think I could have smiled more. An no, sort of examination. And meaning, I mean, we're not going to examine all the sins we have committed, and the sacred breath, inhaling with the prayer of come Holy Spirit, exhaling, saying something like, Lord, I give you my life, something like that. Or simply 5 minutes of silent sit. Let your soul breathe. No words needed. In fact, according to Saint Teresa of Avila, that's the highest form of prayer, contemplation, where you don't need words. You are just there, like enjoying the presence of God and being in the presence of the divine. A smile offering, similar to the exercise that we talked about earlier of smiling at yourself in front of the mirror. Well, this one is smiling at other people. Walk around 3 to 5 minutes to offer a smile to as many people, and try to notice they smile back. Some of them might find us strange. What is she smiling at? But chances are more people would be smiling back, and they would think we are just so happy today. Okay, top 5 things to let go of at midday. Here are 5 goodbyes. Goodbye 5. Perfectionism. This is sometimes, many times, the cause of a person to get frustrated when he is not able to reach perfection in the what he is trying to do. Say goodbye to it. Sometimes we really don't have to tire ourselves out trying to be perfect. Something done is better than perfect that is not done or that takes longer. Comparison, when we start comparing ourselves with other people, we have to say goodbye to that. Guilt over resting. I repeat what we said earlier, resting is not a reward. resting is something essential for us to do even more. Don't feel guilty that you would have to take the 3 to 5 minute rest and reset. Toxic self talk and trying to do it all alone. Ask for help. And a teacher offering us help, we take it, we appreciate it, then we will not be as stressed out anymore. Finally, 3 ways to make midday rest resets a habit. Pair it with a trigger. I mean, schedule it really after lunch before I resume checking papers, going back to work and going back to my the papers I'm looking at. Give yourself a reset. As soon as I get back to the faculty room, 3 to 5 minutes before I get back to work. Set a visual cue. Write a, I don't know, you put a sticky note in front of your desk, your commode, your table. Reset, refuel. You know, that small piece of paper that has the words reset equivalent to refuel to remind you you need these mini resets. Or why not to even have a buddy who will you will remind each other every day. Have you done the reset for today? The 5 minute midday reset? Or you can even share your experiences with each other. But it's like that. Um, Somebody messaging you, time to breathe. As a reminder from a friend telling you to reset, not to tire yourself out. Okay? All these things are science based, they work, and we need them. We need them more than we may actually imagine we need them. And so, with that, we end. I now post here in the chat box the you can scan the QR code, and then I'm going to now post in the chat box the link to claim your certificate for today. Let me see. Okay, there you go. Please click on the link to get to the Google form so that you can claim your certificate. I know many people um, would have a hard time joining us today because of the not just the pandemic. I mean, typhoon is here, and in many places things are far worse. We pray for them that they all stay safe. Okay, well, that's all for today. I'm going to first now stop the recording.